Pete, congratulations, Ironman World Champion. Must be, it's a nice, has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it's, haven't heard it too many times yet. It's still sinking in. It's, sounds awesome to have accomplished that. It's, you know, it might be once in a lifetime thing, but I'm stoked it's happened.
Now you went early, 2Ks out, you were starting the celebrations. The must have been, for us mortals who are never going to get there, tell us about the last part of your run.
Yeah, I had 4.5 minutes with a couple of K to go, and you know, I was going to really enjoy it. So once I hit Palani and running downhill, you know, I just let my body relax and really enjoyed it. You know, pumped up the crowd, and you know, there's so much energy. There was a huge crowd this year. A lot of Australians here this year, and New Zealanders as well, helping me out, and it was just unreal. But then once you hit that bottom section, you've still got about a K1.5, or it feels like that, of flat. It's a different story for a little while, and but I was just happy when I finally crossed that line.
Interesting race though. You biked, and again, I'm going to put my hand up and say you biked better than I thought you were biking this time. I guess you obviously know a lot more than most people in terms of your form and how you were feeling for that leg.
Yeah, you know, I knew that I wasn't far off last year. 5 minutes, and I felt terrible last year. This year, you know, I grab a few percent extra in my training, grab a few percent extra in my taper. Those things I just kind of looked at a little bit, and I knew that on a good day, if I felt good, you know, I've got the training in my legs to ride with those guys. You know, it wasn't much off it last year. So, but then to actually go past the guys, and there's breakaways, and I'm bridging to the breakaways, and then dropping the breakaway and going off on my own for a little while. You know, it was incredible. I just didn't believe it.
Were you aware of how far, or what was happening behind you? Kinlay with a puncher and Macca was out the back. Were you aware of the race around?
Turning at Harvey, I saw that they weren't too far back, and I thought they might catch us maybe before we got to Waikoloa. Once we turned, I saw that you know, Kinlay was pretty close, and actually he'd passed us by then. He passed us on the way up to Harvey on the uphill. So then I saw Macca was fair way back, and you know, Crowe was pretty close, so I thought their pack might catch us at some point. But we just kept the pace on, and you know, sort of working between Luke and Mackenzie, Freddie Van Leert and Dirk Bockel a little bit. But I just found myself on the front more often than not. I was just more comfortable setting the pace than following the pace. And you know, then I saw Kinlay beside the road with a puncture, and you know, it's disappointing to see, you know, someone who you expect is going to be a really good rival beside the road, and Macca had a puncture as well. It's disappointing as well. But you know, it was still Marino. You know, when it just keeps growing and growing out to 8.5 minutes, I realised I was going to have some work to do.
Macca was tweeting at the end of the race that he was shattered about his result, but really happy to be watching you get your job done. Do you feel it's a full circle and passing of the torch to the next generation of you know, Aussie Ironman legends?
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud to continue on. You know, the 6th year in a row of the Aussies winning, and you know, yeah, as they said, the new guard, the younger guys, and you know, it was a tough race. You know, our run times were a lot slower than last year, but you know, you can't be the best biker and the best runner all on the same day, or you know, not yet. And
again, you renewed your acquaintances with Andreas Raeliert, who again was just a monster today. And did you have any eat the pain moments like we had last season?
No eat the pain moments this year. Yeah, it was, you know, I felt better on the run. I didn't shatter as much as I did last year, but I still walked a few aid stations on the way back, because, you know, make sure I grabbed all the ice that I could and took my time. I had, you know, 4 or 5 minutes in the last, you know, sort of 12K, turning at the energy lab, got some time checks, and realised as long as I keep moving forward, that should be all right, because, you know, I was able to run quicker than Andreas last year, and we were equal in the energy lab. And then, you know, Kinlay's not a fast runner. If it had been Crowe, I would have been a bit more worried and maybe just kept the pace on a bit more. But I just made sure that I got home in one piece without blowing up.
I saw you walk through the aid station on top of Palani, and that's how you roll those, how you work. You try and get the nutrition in. That's a preordained thing that you don't charge through the aid stations?
Yeah, it's, I mean, you can't grab, if you had 4 hands, you might be able to grab enough, but you've got to take your time to get enough ice to chuck them down your shirt, your back, your pants, then grab the cold ice water over your head, then grab the sponges, then maybe a bit of Coke or water. You know, you need to grab a bit of everything, to be honest, and you just got to take your time through those aid stations, and and I did for many of them, and you know, it got me home in one piece.
Pete, one last one before we let you go. What does this mean for you to be the world champion, and you know, to come good on the promise that you made a couple of seasons ago with those 2 stunning marathons?
Yeah, it means a hell of a lot, obviously. You know, I'm not sure, I don't feel worthy really. You know, I didn't have a great run. I feel like I ran pretty slow, 2:48 compared to previous years, but yeah, I'm stoked. I just felt good on the bike. So I'm really happy with the race and how it felt for me. I got a lot of confidence out of that race on the bike, and you know, definitely something that I'll just take with me forever and just continue building on.
Pete, congratulations, and well, what a fun time it was in the audience, being one of the few Aussies watching you win.
Yeah, just unreal. I really enjoyed crossing that line, and it may never happen again, so you really lapped it up, but hopefully it does. I'll be back here next year to defend, of course.